Hey there, welcome back to our third video in our series, Going Beyond, Never Giving Up. Our first video was on fear. The second video was on lack of opportunity or perceived lack of opportunity. And we talked about how to overcome and use both of those areas to our advantage as we create the life we truly dream of. If you missed either of those two videos, I encourage you to please go back and watch them. They're succinct, they're to the point, and they're so crucial if you want to continue to create movement towards a life you visit in your dreams. Today's video is on rejection. Now, rejection is something that I've experienced very personally in my most immediate life and in life around, and there's a good reason for that. Here's a little bit of my story. In the last video, I talked to you about how I was working to create opportunities, both in a job that was on a different part of the country, and in this area where I'm working now, which is helping people and coaching them to create the lives they truly desire. Now, this area where I'm working now is what is my heart's passion. When I started this effort a couple years ago, it was so interesting to me because I received almost no support from the people who were close to me and knew me. And it was shocking because, you know, what we really want is when we start something new, we want our family and friends to support us. But the ironic thing is that of all people who come behind us in the very beginning, it's almost never our family and our friends. And it's so shocking if you don't actually expect it. So not only did I not have family and friends who supported me and moved me ahead in this thing that I totally wanted to do in this big dream of mine, but if you watched the last video, then you heard that my father actually wrote me out of the family will. So I didn't even have immediate family just supporting me in life in general. And I had to learn to turn around rejection, or it was either going to cost me all of my dreams, or perhaps even cost me my life. Now, there are a couple ways in which I managed to turn around rejection that I think will help you as well. Here's the first thing to remember about rejection. I learned this from Darren Hardy. People reject us because they themselves are afraid to move ahead. Rejection is not about us. It's so interesting because it feels like it's about us, doesn't it? Rejection from other people is about them. It's usually about them being afraid of where you're going with your life, or it's about them seeing you move forward in these broad, amazing areas of big dreams, and that provides a mirror back to them that they themselves are too afraid to move in that direction too. When we receive rejection from others, it's first of all not about us, but also it's a sign that we're doing something right. I'm going to write a good sign. See, here's the thing. If we were doing something just like everybody else and we weren't actually creating change and we weren't actually growing and moving forward, then nobody would care. Nobody would have to say a bad word about us. Nobody would have to reject us. Nobody would have to try to put down our big dreams because they wouldn't feel threatened. So when you receive rejection from somebody else, remember it's not about you, it's about them. And remember that it's a really good sign that you're doing something great. So if you can reframe that rejection as an underlying covered up approval, then you will find power when people reject you or fail to support you. Third, rejection hurts us because somehow we are relying on others to validate us. Right? I mean, if you're going for a big dream and it's your dream and it's your life, but somebody in your inner circle doesn't support you, isn't it true that you were actually looking for that person to validate your right or your ability to create that dream? So what gives us power over rejection is our self-support. Now, people would look at my situation and say that I've had such a horrible time in life. But I'll look at my situation and say the lack of support that I received from my own family actually created the best gift I ever received, because I had to learn early on that if I didn't support and love and validate myself and my dreams, then I wasn't going anywhere, because there wasn't anyone to pick up the pieces. Now, you might be in a situation where there are people in your life and they support you, but when you dare to talk about your big dream, all of a sudden they get negative or afraid or they get silent. If that happens, remember, it's not about you. Remember, it's a good sign because you're daring to dream outside of the box. And remember that you have to support and validate yourself. Because if you don't, nobody else is going to do it. Even if you have people in your life who are supportive sometimes or seem supportive now, there's going to be a time when you take a step and all of a sudden they are not there. You have to have support and validation and confidence in where you're going. What role is rejection playing in your life right now? Is it in any way keeping you from moving forward towards the life you truly desire? I encourage you, think about the rejection you're experiencing and think about it in relation to these 3 steps. See if you can reframe it. See if you can use it as your fuel, and then tell us about it in the comments. If you're having trouble, tell us about that in the comments too, because I and the rest of our community, we can help you. We can help you turn this around. We can help you learn to deal with that difficult person who's rejecting you in a way that supports you and treats them lovingly and with kindness. Put your thoughts in the comments below, and I want to hear them. I want to engage with you. I want to help you as much as I possibly can. We've had a really great series. We've talked about fear, we've talked about lack of opportunity, we've talked about rejection, and how these 3 things can hold us back, but then how we can turn them around and find the power to move ourselves forward. I trust this has been helpful to you. I've loved your comments. But here's the thing. Is this it? Well, I'm happy to say to you, this is not it. I want to offer you an opportunity to spend 7 weeks concerted effort with me so that I can give you many, many more tools to add to your toolbox as you get stronger, as you solidify your goals, as you move towards creating the life you've only dreamt of up to this point. I know you can do it because I did it. If I can go from having nothing and nobody to creating a life that's happier than I've ever been, then I know you can do it too. So I'm going to send you an email tomorrow. I'm going to give you a few more tips in that video tomorrow too, but I want to tell you about this opportunity to spend 7 weeks with me creating the life you truly desire. Now, while you wait for that email, don't forget, go down in the comments, share your perspective, share your ideas, share your struggles. Let's get you strengthened up so that rejection no longer holds you back. but so that you use it as your fuel and you move forward and you create the life you truly desire. And you create a future for your children and your grandkids that you never even dreamt of up to this point. See you in the comments, and I'll see you tomorrow in one last bonus video.